Good evening, everybody. Monday morning quarterback, episode 62. Hope you all are having a fantastic week. We took last week off after a really busy week with the Holman Classic and the Hoosier 100, Non-Wing World Challenge, Little 500, and then the Indy 500. So we took Memorial Day off, spent some time with the family, and getting things together for a busy stretch for us. Tomorrow night kicks off Indiana Midget Week, which is 6 nights in a row. And then on Monday, Jake is heading out east. So we're going to do 11 races in the next 12 nights with our factory support trailer, helping customers and fine-tuning products. And so we're going to be all over the place. It's busy time here, and we hope that Mother Nature cooperates. And I hope you've been racing too, as it seems like everybody's getting to do some racing here the last few weeks, which is awesome. Want to recognize a couple of our quarter midget kids that did really well at regionals around the country last week. In the Duel in the Desert, which was their last race out in Colorado, we had Holly Clark pick up 2 wins. Chase Picola got a win. Skylar Keeney picked up 2 wins, and Kaylee Boston got a win. And then at the Midwest Thunder at McAchee in Ohio, Colin Mitchell continues to dominate in that series with 5 wins over the course of the weekend. And then Jacob Denny had 2 wins, and Grant Volkner picked up a win. So congratulations to those guys. And then a couple other people I want to recognize is first-time winners. I always try to recognize a first-time winner at their that specific level. And so Isaac Sharp and Bo Brandon, both former quarter midget customers of ours, got their first micro wins over the weekend. So Isaac was out in California at Lemoore, and I believe Bo Brandon's was at Circus City, where they had the Non-Wing World Challenge just a couple weeks ago. So cool for those guys, and we hope you guys are winning. Be sure to tag us on social media if you're winning with our products, and we'll try to recognize you. Either Instagram story or Twitter or Facebook. We try to recognize everybody we can each and every week. So for those of you that are tuned in, we're here to answer your tech questions, whether it be anything you've experienced the last few weeks of racing or a pit logic question. We are here to answer that, and then we will do that and explain a little bit about Midget Week and kind of what we do when we're traveling to help customers. As we're waiting for a few people to ask questions, we can share with our Monday morning quarterback folks before anybody else that we have our summer line of apparel coming out very soon. So I think we got 4 new shirts, we got the Duster jacket, and we'll have some new hats coming out too. So look for that to be coming out very soon. Here in the next, maybe this week or next week, we're expecting all those new arrivals. They're all soft, thinner style shirts for summer, and we have 4 new designs for you guys. So we've had a lot of our current prints discounted, and we still have some discounted and some hats discounted if anybody's looking for some bargains there. So got about 30 or so of you guys tuned in. Fire away with questions. We'll ask them as they come in. As far as Pit Logic goes, we continue to develop that platform and add new things to it. So super awesome. We got a couple hundred of you guys using it, and we're looking to try to grow it from there. So I know Kevin's been working on some new things there on the back end, and I've been trying to upload as many setup codes as I can. So thanks to Jake Hagopian at Driven, he gave me kind of all their baselines for wing and non-wing and junior sprints. So that is up on our website now. You can get those codes to download them. Jake Argo from here at our shop, our production manager, he is a crew chief on the non-wing side of things. And so he gave us his kind of go-to setups to start the night, heat race and feature for non-wing cars. And then actually Joe Devin just shot me an email with his recommendations as well, so we'll get a DRC setup up there. So we're going to continue to add setups for you guys to look at. And again, if you don't know where to find those, go to our website, click on the Pit Logic tab, and then all the setup codes are broken down there by class. So currently we have quarter midgets, micros, dirt midget, non-wing sprint car, and we're going to keep adding some more setups as we get them entered into the app for you guys. So, Carl, tuning in from New York. Carl, what type of racing are you doing? I believe you're quarter midgets, but I'm not 100% positive. His question is, what will lowering the right front spring rate do? Well, it'll typically allow the car to travel more on that corner, but depending on what kind of racing you're doing, it could do a couple different things. You might want to add kind of what you're trying to accomplish with lowering that right front spring rate, and we can try to help point you in a direction there. Typically on the quarter midget side, if we feel we're not getting enough shock travel over there, on pavement quarter midget racing, we would maybe go down on right front spring rate. If we felt like the car just wasn't traveling enough and cutting on the right front, we might go down on right front spring rate. Micros. Well, micro will be a little bit different because on the dirt, going down on right front spring rate will do something a little bit different than on asphalt. And typically we would only go down on right front spring on a micro in the instance that we felt the right front was just too stiff, and on corner entry the driver couldn't feel the right front. Right front was too high in the air and the car was not getting into the corner with the right attitude. We might go down on right front spring rate. Again, a lack of shock travel on the right front would indicate that. Oh, mic rods, not micros. Okay, so I answered the question for quarter midgets, which a mic rod, for those of you who don't know, is kind of a hybrid quarter midget that they just run in the Northeast. They're very unique race cars. So going down on right front spring rate can help the car rotate in the center and potentially turn the exit a little better for you if that's what you're looking for. So thank you to Carl for the question. Anybody else that has questions, go ahead and fire away. We're here to answer all your questions. So tomorrow night, we'll have the trailer loaded up, and the first round of Midget Week is at Montpelier, which is new to the schedule as of a couple years ago. Montpelier is kind of a unique, I want to call it like a 3/8. I might call it a third, but it's big and wide, pretty smooth, decent banking, and doesn't have straightaways in the corner, or doesn't have walls on the straightaway, back straightaway, or the corners. So it races really good. And then we go to Gas City, which is just like an exit down the road. It's in the northern part of the state, and Gas City's been around forever. Quarter mile. Again, only a wall on the front straightaway. A lot of our tracks in Indiana don't have walls. It's kind of unique. And then Thursday, Putnamville, which we were there Saturday night for a local show helping customers. And Putnamville, again, no walls in the corners, just a wall down the front stretch. And it gets choppy and rough and a monster curb usually. And for whatever reason, that's typically the best Midget Week show of the week is at Putnamville for whatever reason. So we look forward to going to Putnamville. And then from there we go to Bloomington Friday, which is, again, only a wall on the straightaway, front straightaway, and a super high bank, really narrow red clay, quarter mile. And then from there, Lawrenceburg, which is a big, fast 3/8 walls all the way around that baby. Really fast, super wide. And then the final is at Kokomo, which Kokomo's all walls too, and everybody knows what a great show Kokomo puts on. So looking forward to Midget Week. And then again on Monday, Jake is heading out east to Pennsylvania to do part of Eastern Storm, and then some micro races, some dealer visits. So we got a bunch of places. Then after that, we're going to the High Bank Hustle, a big micro race in southern Illinois. And after the High Bank Hustle, we're back to quarter midget racing. We got the Robbie Stanley race and the Battle at the Brickyard, which became the biggest quarter midget race of the year, typically over 400 entries. So looking forward to doing all of that racing coming up, and we just hope the weather cooperates. The weather doesn't look fantastic for Midget Week, but it really didn't the week of Indy either, and we got every single race in, and as most of you know, it was like 100% chance of rain for the 500, and we didn't get a drop. So you never know around here. Okay, Mark Ashcraft. Other than for tire sizing and stagger, is there any reason to run a 5-inch or 6-inch on the left rear instead of a 5.5? So it will make the sidewall a little bit stiffer. In my opinion, for most quarter midgets, I think the 5.5 inch wheel is ideal. Um, I feel like that gets you the proper footprint, and the tire works very well on that size wheel. I've had the best luck just putting everything on a 5.5 inch wheel for the left rear, and then just sizing the tires from there. So using a hot box to grow or shrink the tires, and I typically mount all my left rears on 5.5s. The only time I feel like a 6 can help you is in like the Formula and Mod Formula classes. On low grip tracks, you can kind of stretch that left rear out and get a little bit more rubber on the track. Again, that's just my personal opinion, but I've been able to, especially if you're running the D series Hoosier tires, like the dirt tires, they're really pliable, so you can grow or shrink those tires almost a full inch. So I typically mount up 6 or 8 of them, all on 5.5 inch wheels, and I just size them to the size I need accordingly. So I have kind of everything in 1/8 of an inch increments, and you can do that pretty effectively. So anybody else that's tuned in, fire away with tech questions. As far as Pit Logic is concerned, if you've been living under a rock, it is available on Apple now and Android. We are working currently on the maintenance tab feature, where you'll be able to download a maintenance template and log all your maintenance items and track kind of laps or miles or races on your running gear. And so that'll kind of be the next thing we roll out. I believe Kevin's also working on kind of sprucing up the Android version. Spent probably the last 4 or 5 months getting the Apple version done, and he learned some cool new tricks and got that very aesthetically pleasing. So he wanted to go back and make a couple edits to the Android version to make it a little bit cleaner. So I believe that's coming too. So if you don't have Pit Logic and you have questions, ask. I continue to get questions about the different subscription levels and what those are. The long and the short of it is, the bronze package, which is the cheapest package, is $9.99 a month. You get everything with the app. So there's no hidden fees. Everything comes with the app. The next level up, the $19.99, CSI will manage your shock content for you. So if you're not a CSI shock user, that level has no use for you. If you are, and you have a bunch of shocks and you don't want to manually enter all your shocks, we'll manually enter all your shocks for you and manage that content. You request the shocks you want within the app. I've been trying to do it within 24 hours, but it might take 48. You're going to get a reply back with, use this code. You enter that code in, it sucks all your shock data in for you. So that's the silver level if you have a bunch of shocks you want us to manage. And then the gold level is if you want us to analyze your setups for you. So we have the benefit of having people with a high level of expertise in almost every platform we build shocks for. And so somebody here in our facility or one of our sponsored teams will look at that and give us feedback on your setup, and so in real time. So again, within 24 to 48 hours, we're going to reply back with some comments on that setup and some things we maybe thought you could have done different. So that's the gold level. But if you're just interested in using the app to be more organized, be able to download these race-proven setups that we have, all of that's included in the $9.99. So I've been telling people it's less than a sleeve of tear-offs, and you're going to get ultra organized and have everything right on your phone. No more at the racetrack, where do I set my shocks? Oh, my dyno sheets are at the shop. Boom, they're just right there on your phone. Super easy. Help you select gear ratios. It's just an unbelievable tool to keep you organized. Every time I go to the races to work on a race car, I find myself using it. So, Dave Sharpley, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Dave's going to have his Sharp Advantage folks at a couple Midget Week races as well. So always good to catch up with them. We got a lot of customers in common. Dave does seat inserts for everybody from quarter midgets to micros and midgets and sprint cars. And Dave, what do you think? You have probably like 80 or 90% of the Outlaws now on his seat inserts. So really cool. Dave's a good friend of mine, chief mechanic on an IndyCar team, and does the safety inserts, seat inserts on the side. So Women Hour, I hope you're saying we're the best in the business, not Dave, but since we're in different businesses, we both can be the best in the business. So looked like you had a pretty decent run at Kokomo last night in the 305. Man, I don't know if that's the first time 305s have been at Kokomo, but what a race. Good sized track for 305 sprint cars. So if you haven't seen that, go to Speed Shift Facebook page. They have highlights of the non-wing race and the wing race. Both were barn burners, but that was maybe the best 305 race I've ever seen. It was really, really good. So cool. So does anybody else that's tuned in have questions? We're here to answer them. And if you don't, we'll let you go for the evening. And hope you guys all have a fantastic week and get to do some racing. Pay attention to our social media channels. We'll be updating things and putting little video clips and such from all of Midget Week and travels to the East Coast next week. And we're looking forward to a busy summer. Got our flights and everything booked for Clay Cup out in Washington, so going out there in mid-July. That's a race that I raced at as a kid and haven't been back in, almost 20 years, probably 20 plus years. So looking forward to getting out there. The Lemleys have an awesome track, and we got a lot of customers out there. So got a kid out there in a junior sprint, Levi Hillier, who's, I think won 5 or 6 of their races so far. So looking forward to seeing that little guy in action. His dad's a former sprint car driver, and the kid's been knocking him dead out there. So hoping they take him to the shootout to race junior sprints. I hate when we get a junior sprint kid that just dominates all summer and they move him to micros right before the shootout. So, but we're looking forward to going out and seeing those guys. So, all right. We will thank Kevin. Thanks for the new intro. We're trying to spice it up. Our graphics guy is supposed to be doing like an overlay for behind me, so you don't just have to look at that ugly brick wall. We're going to have something cool behind me, a little better backdrop. And we got new lighting and audio and video this week, so we're trying to work through all that and give you guys better quality videos. So thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a fantastic week. Please like and share. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube. We try to get all these uploaded in a timely fashion, and everything is current on the YouTube page right now. So up through episode 61, and we'll get this one uploaded tomorrow. And we hope you have a great week. Thank you guys, and appreciate y'all. Take care.